and to be able to go out. Like, we can see the change in each other before we went in and after we came out. And we talk about it all the time, you know what I mean? And it's priceless. You know, it's nowhere else you're gonna get this. Only in the UPK you get stuff like that. You understand? That's why those other groups, they don't have that brotherhood. Brotherhood has never been with them other groups. You understand? Hey, check this out, right? Israel is the so-called Israeli gonna have to own up to what's happening. You understand? Let's clap it up, clap it up. This is brotherhood class slash sisterhood. You understand? Whenever we come into the brotherhood class, we always say that brotherhood is synonymous with sisterhood. Just because we call it brotherhood doesn't mean that it's just for the brothers. You understand? Synonymous. We're talking for the sisters too, because the sisters need this truth too. You understand? First thing I wanted to really talk about is that the Israeli, the bombing of that world kitchen. You understand? Israel got a real problem. They got a real problem now because now everybody is eyes are starting to open now to the true beast. You understand? To the true beast that these people are. You understand? Now we understand we don't take sides. You understand? We neither on the Israeli side, we neither on the Palestinian side. But to be human, you understand, to show some kind of compassion, you understand, these people don't have it. I'm not saying that those Arabs over there are the best people in the world, because we all know they're not. But the atrocities that are happening now, we look at the things that are happening to us over here, you understand? And we quick to, you know, go out and want to be, cheering and saying these people need help, these people need help. We need help more than any other nation on the face of this planet. We are at the bottom. Listen, if those Palestinians already over here, Palestinians already got more than we got just coming over here. You understand what I'm saying? But I want to get to the real beast. The beast is those so-called small hats. You understand? And the things that are going on over there. I got an article that I really want to dive into, and we're gonna get into what's going on today. You understand? Where did I put it at?
I got it up here too.
It's a lot. You got it up there too, Cap? I'm gonna read it from here. You gonna put the you gonna put it up on the screen?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this is an article from the Washington Post. You understand? What's his name? Benjamin Netanyahu. He has no explanation for this the strike on the World Central Kitchen. You understand? If I'm not mistaken, you had somebody from Poland. What was it? It was a couple of what? Okay, Poland, France. I know it was an American in there too. You understand? And a Canadian with dual citizenship. He had a citizenship in America and in Canada. You understand? And they just bombed. And listen, they said they had already knew that the
It mentions the nationalities of the victims in the article also.
what's those. Let's read that article.
Yes.
You want me to read it?
I got on mine.
Go ahead, sir.
It's displaying online too also.
Okay.
Israeli strike on World Center kitchen. Convoy halts some Gaza aid efforts. This is the Washington Post. several humanitarian groups said Tuesday that they would suspend their operations in Gaza after 7 World Central Kitchen workers were unalived in the Israeli strike.
Check this out, right? They said they're gonna suspend their operations in Gaza. The thing about that, right, is that's what the Israelis want to happen. They don't want aid to go in there for those people. But understand something, right? It's the same thing with America. America doesn't want us to get any kind of aid either. This is the reason why America does the same thing to us, but on a much bigger scale. You understand what I'm saying? Look at the drugs that America funnels into us. Instead of starving us, they force feed us the worst things that they can do. It's the same thing that the Israelis are doing to those Palestinians. Not only are they doing that, but they telling them to go into particular places, and they bombing them in those places. Remember, what was that, 2 months ago, they told them to go into the southern part of Gaza, and then they began to bomb them in the southern parts of Gaza. They just now bombed a hospital last week, right? This was the only hospital they had that was serving the Palestinians that were hurt and unalived over there. And they bombed that exact hospital. Well, after they bombed these workers, now the world is beginning to look at the Israelis a little differently. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Were unalived in Israeli strike, threatening already precarious deliveries to the aid-starved enclave.
Right? Listen, these people were already starving. Like I said, the thing that's happening now is just what the Israelis want. Think about this too, right? I just saw on CNN last week, they had Israeli women in like a war room, divvying up the Gaza Strip already. The people not even off the Gaza Strip. And they got women in there talking about, this is where we're going to put the synagogues. We're going to put schools over here. We're going to have a store. We're going to have malls and things over here. They already making plans in the midst of the war. So listen, if they already have these plans, this thing wasn't something that just came about. This thing was something that was planned, right? Now, even before the attack, right? Listen, think about this, right? The Israelis have one of the most advanced, state-of-the-art defense systems in the world. They got the Iron Dome. Did you see Israel? Did you see the Israeli communities over there?
Mm-hmm.
It almost looked like California.
Yep.
It almost looked like California over there. So in the midst of all this warring, how can you have towns and different places that look like California if you don't have the best defense system in the world? So now, speaking of the best defense system in the world, how does a defense system, alarm system, not work? How does people in parachute, paragliding, four-wheelers, Toyota pickups, you understand, and motorcycles come across your border without being detected? How are your people 3 miles out having a unholy dance party,
right,
doing all kinds of atrocities,
right,
which we know these people are?
Right.
How do these people get in under a system which is one of the greatest systems on the face of the planet? How is this? You understand?
15, 13.
Think about it. Think about it, right? How does that happen? You understand? You can't tell me. Think about this now, right? They were already talking about, before this war happened, they were already talking about getting rid of Benjamin Netanyahu.
Right.
Right? They were already talking about ousting him. Why wouldn't the Benjamin Netanyahu sacrifice a few people for a whole country? Why would we think he wouldn't sacrifice a few people for a whole country? Think about this. America does it already anyway. America sacrifices a few for the many. Look what America does to us. We get sacrificed every day. We don't get the fanfare that the Palestinians get. You understand? We don't get the fanfare that the Pakistanians get, or the Salah, or the I got this right.
I got you.
We don't get that. We don't get that fanfare that the Palestinians, the Afghans, or none of those people get. You understand what I'm saying? We don't get that kind of fanfare. Why don't we get that kind of fanfare? Every nation on the face of this planet knows that we are the greatest people to ever walk the face of this earth. And check this out. Believe it or not, the Bible identifies us as the true biblical Jews of the Bible. You understand? They said, listen, these so-called Israelis are over there taking over a land that they said was rightfully theirs. When we know that the Most High said when he returns his people into their land, he'll return it to them, not with the help of another nation or several nations. You understand? Look at it. Somebody tell me, when has a European ever come out of the Middle East? When has a European ever come out of the Middle East? Nobody questions that. You understand? Nobody ever questions anything that these people say. Think about it, right? What they call it, anti-Semitic, when you say something against them, anti-Semitic. What is that when it comes to them? They're not even Semitic.
If I could add, you know what I mean? If you mention any crime
Right.
of a so-called Jewish person, you're automatically deemed anti-Semitic, anti-Jewish, hate the so-called Jewish man. When in reality, you just pointed out, a fact. You can't literally out here unalive civilians and not be called out on it.
They check this out,
I just
right?
had to mention that.
Right. Salakia. Thanks, Cat. Hey, listen, that was the captain of Baltimore. Give Captain Sapari a powerful hand with that, right? And it's amazing that you would bring that up. Think about it. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3 says what? Let no man deceive you by any means. We letting people deceive us into believing that they are people that they could never be. They could never be. You understand? And nobody ever questioned. I want to ask a question to anybody. Somebody tell me, what DNA are they using that say that they are the biblical Jews from that land? Somebody tell me, what DNA could they possibly be using? Somebody tell me. Because they say they go back, they say they go back to Jacob. They go back to Jacob, right? That's what they said. How? Who? Somebody tell me the DNA that they're using. I'll wait for that answer. You understand? But the Bible tells us, let no man deceive us by any means, and we believe every lie that comes from out of the beast's mouth. We believe every, and if you read the Bible, if anybody reads the Bible, all you have to do is read Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and if you read through that chapter and get to that 64th to 68th verse, you know that describes us, right, even down to the color. Right. How can we read? Listen, these people. Let me ask a question. Has those Israelis, have they ever been in slavery? Have they ever been sold? Have they ever had a hard time? Oh, you know what they'll say, Cap? Oh, they were in the Holocaust. How long did that Holocaust last? Somebody tell me, how long did that Holocaust last? Wasn't that a second? That Holocaust lasted a second, right? Compared to other atrocities. And we're not saying that it's not an atrocity, which it was an atrocity. But if you enslaved for 400, almost 500 years, everything was taken from you. your identity, your language, your customs, your culture. That's a real atrocity. You understand? That's a great atrocity. Somebody tell me. Just give me an answer. Whether the DNA that they use and where are they getting it from? Or are they just saying it? Or are they just saying it? You understand? They're just saying. And when we say we are the true biblical Jews of the Bible, we can go into that Bible. We can show you. We can go into that Apocrypha and show you our history. We can show you in the Bible where it describes us to a T. I would just like somebody to show me where it describes them in the Bible. Can somebody do that? Let no man deceive you by any means. You understand? Let no man deceive you by any means. We gotta stop listening to what these other nations of people tell us. We gotta stop believing. We gotta get back to these scriptures. These scriptures tell us who we are. You understand? Go ahead, Cap. You wanna finish that?
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed that Israel carried out the strike Monday, but said it was unintentional.
Hold up. Check this out, right? Wait a minute. Go ahead. Finish that, guy. I'm gonna wait. Go ahead.
But said it was unintentional.
Mm.
He vowed the military would carry out a transparent investigation and make the results public.
Hey, let me ask a question. What did that sound like? Don't that sound like when we go to court?
Right.
Because some kind of atrocity has happened to us, and the police say we're going to make this transparent, right, and we're going to make this available to everybody.
Well, are we gonna it's so damn, what's the word, Matham? It's so repetitive. Their vocabulary.
Right.
We're gonna do an open investigation on ourselves. About what we did, and then after we come up with a solution, we're gonna let everybody know.
Hey, listen. Understand something, right? How can you go and ask for justice from the very people that are destroying you? Right. This is what we tend to do. We tend to do this. Listen. What do we? The title, I think we just made the title wrong. The title should have been "Let No Man Deceive You by Any Means," because we get deceived in that way. We think that the very people that are set out to destroy us is going to give us justice. Listen, if you stole something from somebody and you don't want to give it back and they ask you for justice, what are you going to do?
They trying their best to deceive the other nations.
Right.
Like black folks see, already hit the game.
Right.
We already heard, we want to do an investigation. Black folk already heard that.
Right.
They trying to play it. The Israelis is trying to play that game with the Arabs, the other Arab nations.
Right.
They're trying to play that game with China. They're trying to play that game with all the other superpowers of the earth.
Right.
And that's why everybody protesting against it, because they calling BS.
Right. And listen, it's getting bad because
I'm not gonna say nothing else.
No, you good, Cap. You good, but it's getting bad because the very people that spoke up for you and were speaking up for you and were with you in the beginning are now starting to question whether they made the right choice or not. Whether they made a good decision, whether they made a well thought out decision. You understand? Go ahead, Cap. We can finish reading.
He vowed the military will carry out a transparent investigation and make the results public. Secretary of State Antony Blinken.
Blinken.
Did I say it right?
Yep. Yep.
Appearing with his French counterpart in Paris, called on Israel to carry out a swift, a thorough, and
Impartial.
impartial slaughter.
This is crazy.
Inquiry. He also hold up.
Listen, because I didn't read this part right here, right?
It is because if I could just add, it's so routine.
Right,
Even on a local level,
right,
it's routine. Now we're talking about a national hate crime,
right,
a national war crime,
right,
and they're using vocabulary that's from your local police department.
right. The same thing that we hear every day. It's the same thing, and that's what makes it funny, because this is the same lingo that we hear every day when one of our brothers or sisters are shot down, shot dead, Salakia, unalived.
We still alive on
Come, sir, come. When one of our brothers and sisters are unalived, you understand? When things happen to us, we hear this same lingo, and now they are using it on an international level. You right, Cap. We so hip to this, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and we've been hearing this for the last 400 years. As a matter of fact, Cap, go ahead, read. It's because you're going to get this the part right here where it's going to describe.
He also defended ongoing U.S. arms deliveries to Israel, saying each transfer was approved by Congress in accordance with the law.
Yeah. Go ahead. This is crazy. Listen, man, this. It's funny. You know what? I guess when you get pulled over by the police, or when you in court, or when something happens to us and we hear it, it's like, here we go again.
Yeah, right.
But it's kind of, I don't want to put it wrong, but it's kind of good to see it from the other side, the other perspective, and see how other people respond to when they hear the same rhetoric that we hear. You understand what I'm saying? Now, these other nations are not privy to hearing what we hear every day. And I like to see their faces and how they respond. And I want to see how long they're gonna listen to it before they realize it's BS. You understand? I want to see how long.
What's the man of is it the man of sin must be, is it the man of sin?
That's in Second Thessalonians. He must be revealed.
He's like this. If I could just to add what you said, it's so happy.
Right.
He, like the Jewish man, has always been disguised as the frail and as the weak and the frail and the when really he's the powerful and authoritative.
Right.
And figure, but he's been painted as this hated
Right.
person. He's not. The scripture says Israel. Yo, I gotta stop. I
Listen,
don't want to get on stage.
Hey, listen, you said it though, right? It says, "For that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the man of perdition."
He's showing himself.
Exactly, he's showing himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because remember, October the 7th, when everything happened, right? Everybody was behind them. Oh, terrorist attack, boom, boom, boom. Of course, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But when a shark smells blood in the water, when a beast gets that taste of blood, it's hard for them to quench that thirst. And because they almost have no restrictions on what they do, they getting fed and fed and fed and fed. That that thirst that they got for unaliving innocent people is above and beyond everything that they could imagine. Because, and think about it, right? They not only unaliving these people, but they're taking a length. Wait a minute. Guess what? A lot of people don't even know that 4 or 5 years ago, they found a whole lot of oil reserves under that Gaza Strip. So if they can clear out those Palestinians off of that Gaza Strip, they have their own oil reserves and don't have to make amends or make amends with those other Arab nations because they got their own oil reserves. So the whole thing is they said they wanted them off a part of the Gaza Strip. And then they began to send them into the south. Then they began to bomb the south of the Gaza Strip. Now they want them off the whole Gaza Strip. How do you take a land from a people? But ain't that how we lost ours? Ain't that how we lost ours? See, listen, we were on the inside at first. Now we're on the outside. I can't even say we're on the outside because it happened to us, right? We on the inside in the corner watching like a fly on the wall. Everything that's happening to them has already happened to us. They're being robbed of everything that they got. Not only that, these people are unaliving people indiscriminately. Women, babies, children, everything. It does not matter. All they say is, this is a, what do they say? A hospital. This is a Hamas headquarters disguised as a hospital. Or whatever they say it's a headquarters of Hamas disguised as whatever they destroy. I want to see how they can convince everybody that those were Hamas vans disguised as World Kitchen workers. I want to see that. Everybody's starting to look because the man of perdition is now being revealed. You understand? What do you say? And that man of sin be revealed. The man of sin is being revealed right now, right before our very eyes. You understand?
You can't help it.
Can't. Listen, when they started destroying, or when they started unaliving the first set of innocent people, and nobody said nothing, that bloodlust began to build.
In the entire earth, there was a quiet acceptance.
Right. What did we get that from? The quiet.
Right.
Oh my.
Come on.
Sidebar.
Right.
What was that? Quiet on set.
Yep.
There's a quiet acceptance. You understand? And think about it, right? I don't want to sidetrack off too much, but quiet on set. Why was there quiet acceptance? Because there were people on the side who was involved that didn't want to be revealed. It's the same thing with this thing that's happening right now in Palestine, right? There are people who do the same thing that do not want to be revealed. There are countries that do this. Go ahead, Kat.
Biden mentioned it Biden mentioned this indirectly.
Right.
He says what's going on is wrong, boom, boom, boom. America, it was very big.
Right.
America did this, America, boom, boom, boom. What we doing is wrong. When he made it, he was addressing certain particular issues.
Right.
But he didn't outright say, hey, we was murdering people.
Right.
We was murdering unaliving civilians.
Because if you don't go along with the get along gang, you reveal yourself.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You understand? When you don't go along with the get along gang, you reveal yourself. And America doesn't want to be revealed. But America is being revealed. You understand? Just by sitting on the sideline and saying nothing, you're revealing yourself. And think about this, right? Even, listen, even the Democrats and Republicans can't get along. Now, the Republicans don't want to, and the Republicans are the ones that don't want to give them the funds. Democrats want to give it to them, but the Republicans are the ones that held out. Even with that Ukraine-Russian, they didn't want to, because the Republicans are saying we need to defend our own, because the Republicans can see what's on the horizon. You understand? They understand that it's about to be bigger than just those two countries of those four countries. Everybody's about to get involved. Listen, how did Rome fall? Rome fell because they spread themselves amongst every nation, getting involved in every war. When you begin to spread yourself so thin, your home becomes exposed. America is being exposed. America is helping Ukraine, right? America is helping the Israelis, right? America is helping every other nation. Not to mention, America has their own problems abroad. There are countries that are waiting, just like, think about it, right? What is China waiting for? What is China waiting for? Clearance. China waiting for America to spread themselves so thin that they're going to go right, and they're going to waltz right into Taiwan. Now, where did they say they had those warships at? Russia and China moved those warships. Was it into the Black Sea?
I'm thinking it's the Black Sea, but I'm not sure.
It's one of those seas, because I saw it. And they said that
I gotta look at the report.
yeah, that they had those, well, they already moving into place. And if I'm not mistaken, they moving into place to protect Taiwan, that interest.
Listen, listen. I love this class because sometimes it gets political.
Right.
I try not to get political, but you damn near gotta get political.
Right.
If you following the politics of it, you following the war.
Right.
Oh, just like back in I wasn't even alive at the time when America put sanctions and embargoes on Cuba.
Oh.
That was done for a particular reason. If Russia gained and obtained control over Cuba, we are in a listen.
Well, they got nuclear weapons right 90 miles off the coast of Florida.
Exactly.
If they got those, and this is the thing, right? And everybody wonders why Russia is doing what they're doing to Ukraine. Now, I want you to think of it like this, right? If you got a son, right, and you have an enemy over there, and your son invites your enemy into your house to live in your house in one of your rooms, what are you going to do? So now, if America wouldn't, think about this though, right? Cuba's 90 miles off the coast of Florida, but Ukraine is right there on Russia's doorstep. That's part of Russia. They said the Ukrainians don't speak Ukrainian, they speak Russian.
Can I put this in perspective too?
Go ahead.
Yo, we in Baltimore, right?
Right.
Let's just say Maryland in general.
Right.
Let's say Baltimore. Let's say Baltimore for now, and I go into Fruitland and Ocean City in a second.
Right.
DC is 60 miles away.
Right.
60
miles
away.
Right.
An hour.
Right.
If you go down 95 South, yeah, I just want to, yo, I'm just trying to paint a picture real quick.
Right.
DC, 60 miles away. Let's say Alexandria, 75 miles away.
That's an hour and 15 minutes. I took the ride a couple of times.
Hour, 15 minutes, boom.
Right.
Yo, 90 miles, are you kidding me?
Think about this, right?
I mean, 90 is nothing.
That 90 miles is a 5-minute ride for a ballistic missile.
Come on.
A 5-minute ride for a ballistic missile.
Good night.
You understand? So now think about it, right? If America's not allowing,
Just to put it for the Eastern Shore brothers and sisters watching, Eastern Shore is about what? How many miles away? Let's put it in the hours. two hours away, maybe at most.
Yeah. That's
little
and
bit traffic.
that was a crowded ride too.
A little crowded.
That was a little
right?
crowded ride, yeah.
Think about how close Cuba is.
Right,
Now we're talking about Ukraine and Russia,
right.
a neighboring
State, a neighboring state, right?
forget.
They like this.
Yeah.
Now, you had Cuba and Florida like this, but you trying to put them in a neighboring state. Now you got the United Nations right there with nuclear weapons sitting right at the front door, opening up the mail slot, looking in the mail slot. You feel me? Come on, man, stop playing. So, and people don't understand why Russia is upset. Now, the reason why did Russia not destroy Ukraine? Why did they not? Because they understand that once they take control of Ukraine, who wants to do too much
Anything at all.
damage control? Who wants to rebuild? You got to rebuild. That's the reason why they haven't totally destroyed Ukraine. It's not about totally destroying them. It's about making them submit and understanding stupidity.
It's territory anyway.
It's their exactly.
I'm sorry. It's like the equivalent of us invading Puerto Rico.
Right,
Puerto Rico is our territory.
right,
Why you in family business?
exactly.
The whole earth is family business.
Right,
The whole earth is family business because of military and political gain. That's the only reason.
they had an advisor. America had an advisor back in the 80s that told America not to invade or not to bring Ukraine into NATO. Because if you bring Ukraine into NATO, it's going to start a war. And look what happened. I can't remember his name, but he said it in the 80s. He said not to bring Ukraine into NATO because if you bring them in, yeah. Well, listen, it was on CNN a few weeks ago. It was on CNN a few weeks ago. He said he did a whole a whole interview, and he said he told them not to bring Ukraine into NATO. If you try to do that, it's going to start a war. He don't know how big the war is really going to be. He was talking about a war on a small scale, but this war is about to break out everything. Everything is about to happen. I mean, mountains about to fall. Hold up. Listen. Mountains. Upon the mountains and hills. Mountains and hills are about to fall.
Boy.
And we talking spiritual. Mountains and hills are about to fall.
Right.
These governments and all of these things are about to crumble. Listen, they said this is the same thing that happened when Rome fell. It's the same exact look. The same thing that America is going through right now is the same way it looked when Rome fell. Understand something. We are in the last days, and we know we've been hearing that, right? You got wars and rumors of wars, but now things are getting very interesting. Listen, if anybody out there is listening, if you're interested, you have to sit down and watch CNN, watch the world news. Now, you have to pick through and get the meat of everything, because there's a lot of bones out there. It's a lot of things that are how can I say, not trustworthy in detail, but you have to understand the things that you're hearing, you have to be able to decipher. Being in the UPK really helped me really to look at the really to be able to look at the world news from a different perspective. A lot of times, think about this, right? We've been told for years and years from when we was little that Russia was what they call it, the dark side of the force. They was the evil nation. We were the good nation. It was always good versus evil. But when you look at those videos from Russia, right? The same things that we're doing over here, those Russians are doing over there. There's not a big cascade of people leaving Russia. There's not a big cascade of people leaving Russia. Russia is the same country that America is. Everybody thinks, and I ain't even want to go here, Cap, but everybody thinks that communism is different from a democracy. It's not. There is no difference. The only difference is that in America, we are fooled into believing that we make all the choices that America makes when we don't. Communist country, think about it, right? Them people over there, they shopping, they going out, they going to the, think about it. What was that, the concert they was about to have last week? The one where the terrorists came in?
Right.
What were those people doing? They get ready to have a concert, right?
Right.
They wasn't rushing to get up out of Russia.
Right.
The same fun that you having over here, those Russians are having over there. The same way you believe in America, those Russians believe in Russia. Listen, there is no difference between a communist country and a democracy. Think about it, right? America goes to different countries and forces countries to have a democracy or a democratic system. That's just like when the Europeans went into other nations and forced themselves upon them with the sword. It's the same thing. It's no different. Look at what's going on. And this is the reason why we have to start waking up. We got to stop. We got to get out of watching these reality shows, these Atlanta housewives and all of this dumb crap, this stuff that makes us, that's distracting to us. We're the only nation of people that really don't know what's going on in the news. Don't know what's happening in the world. We don't understand anything. You understand? If you ask the average so-called black, Hispanic, or native on the street, if you ask them what's going on over in Russia and Ukraine, they could tell you nothing. Most of them only know that it's a war happening over there, if they know that. You understand? We have to understand that we are a nation of people that are in captivity. You understand? We are actually, would you say, we are actually prisoners of war. We don't get to make any kind of decisions. Think about it, right? And how many times do we say this? I say this every week. Every week. Baltimore is 87% black. But we have no control over Baltimore City. Every nation of people come over here has all kinds of control. Just like the Israelis are taking control of that Gaza Strip, every nation has come over into Baltimore and taken control of Baltimore over us. Think about it. We don't own any stores. The houses that we live in are not owned by us. The land that you live on is not owned by you. Think about this, right? It's people in America that own land that pay no taxes on it because they own it. How do you own something and continually pay taxes on it? How is that? What we said in the beginning, Cap, let no man deceive you by any means. We have been deceived as a people. The only way we come up out of this deceivingness is to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. Law, statutes, and commandments are taught right here in the UPK under Commanding General Yohana. This is where we bring it at. Yeah, let's get some more of this article. We need to get some scriptures in, right? We need to get some scriptures in. And the scripture that I want to go to is wars and rumors of wars. Yep. Matter of fact, let's hold on that, right? I want to go into this Isaiah 30 and 2. I want to do that one first. Yeah, I want that one now.
You want to go back to the article later?
Yeah, we're going to go back to... All right, you know what?
You want me to leave it up?
Yeah, leave the article up.
Okay.
Leave the article up. And I want to go to, we're going to start at verse 1.
Isaiah 30 and 1?
Isaiah 30 and 1.
Come.
Yep.
Isaiah chapter 30 verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Most High.
Hey, listen, woe means destruction. You understand? And when he says woe to rebellious children, he's speaking of us, the children of Israel. We are the rebellious children. When we tend to follow these other nations, that's rebellion. The Most High told us not to intermingle, not to intermarry with these other nations. And when he says not to intermingle and intermarry, we're talking about falling into the customs and culture of these other nations. We fall right in. How many of our brothers and sisters celebrated Easter this past weekend? You understand? He says, woe to the rebellious children. How many of us celebrated that Christmas or that Thanksgiving, the destruction of our brothers, the Native American Indians? Woe to the rebellious children. You are always rebellious when you decide to participate in your enemy's customs and culture. Woe to the rebellious children. Go ahead, Cap.
That take counsel, but not of me.
Listen, we take counsel from every nation of people, but not of the Most High. You understand? We think we're going to, listen, we just talked about that earlier. We're going to stand in the courtroom of our oppressor and expect to get justice. How do we do that? How can we be such a thoughtless people? That's a rebellious people. Woe to the rebellious children. Woe to us. You understand? Because we are judged as a nation. We all get judged together. We are all in the same hell together. There is, come on, sir. There is none of us that are experiencing a heaven. Think about it, right? The one we thought was a billionaire, you understand, is going through his great hell right now in P. Diddy. I think Cap talked about that last week, Cap? Surviving Diddy. You understand? I wonder how many people are going to be talking about surviving Jay-Z. You understand? They on his heels now. You understand? Listen, we all in the same hell. We just, what Jadakiss say, we suffering the same devils, just different levels. You understand? We in the same hell, just different levels of hell. You understand? And we have to know how to bring ourselves up out of these hell, or out of this hell. You understand? And that's coming back to the Most High. Go ahead, Cap.
And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
What does that mean? Covering with a covering, but not of my spirit. You understand? What is that cover that we live under? That our pledge of allegiance. You understand? God bless America. You understand? That red, white, and that blue. We like to cover ourselves with the covering, but not of the Most High. What is the Most High's covering? These laws, statutes, and commandments. That's the covering that we need to cover ourselves in. We cover with the covering, but not of his spirit. You understand? Go ahead, Cap.
Come on. That they may add sin to sin.
That they may add sin to sin. How do we add sin to sin? How do we add sin to sin?
The hamster wheel.
The hamster wheel.
The hamster wheel. You understand? It's a if I could.
Go ahead.
It's a forever revolving door. You understand? You vote, you get more destroyed. You understand? We play into a system of deception.
Right.
And cover ourselves in the philosophy and the doctrine of another nation that allows us and push us towards what? More sin. That's all it is. It's a gateway to destruction. And how we destroy ourselves is by following another nation, following another God, which just leads us to more unaliving and more death.
Yeah.
More unaliving.
More other
More
lives.
destruction.
And I'm going to add right on top of that, right? Just like Cap said, we vote and we get nothing from voting. And what do? We teach our children to vote. And then our children's children, they teach them to vote. You understand? We're adding sin to sin. Think about it, right? We've been voting since when? Since the 50s, and we still fighting for the same unwinnable causes. Still marching and marching in place. Listen, we marching and marching in place. Remember when the Most High allowed the children of Israel to wander in the desert? To wander in the desert? That's what's happening to us right now. We wandering, marching in a circle, not to get anywhere. You understand? We're teaching our children to follow the same customs and culture. We're adding sin to sin. Whenever you teach your children to follow and to love America as we do, we add sin to sin. Go ahead, Cap.
Verse 2, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Hey, listen, we walk to go down into Egypt. We walk. The city council. The city council.
Literally.
Yeah, the city council. Well, listen, we got people all along the city council. We got black mayors, black city councilmen, black commissioners. Go ahead.
We think that's the solution.
The power. When we don't have the power. But this think about it, right, Cap? And that's the same thing. I don't want to get too far off, but that's the same thing with Diddy and all of these so-called billionaires. We look at them like they got power, and they have no power at all. Whenever our oppressor is ready to take you down, our oppressor will take you down. These are, listen, when you look at the president of the United States, right? We look at him as being the so-called most powerful man on earth. When he doesn't have the power, he's just the face of America. And that's the same thing with black billionaires. They're just the face of black people. They have no power. They got just as much power as we have. You understand? When they're when they're finished with them, they ball them up. It's just like an athlete, right? When an athlete is past his prime, what does an owner do? He balls them up, throw them away, and then pick another. That's what the draft is about. It's the same thing. You understand? We walked down into Egypt and have not asked of his mouth. You understand? The Most High said what, Cap? He says not to choose or not to put someone over us that he did not choose. Right. We keep choosing people and placing people over us that the Most High did not choose. You understand? We keep thinking that if we get him or if we pick him and put him in there, look, think about that. What's his name? Warnock, the one that's in where was he at? The preacher, the pastor. He in Congress now, right? Reverend Warnock. He's in Congress now. He in one of those positions, and everybody think if we get him in there, then we're going to get some kind of justice or things are going to change. No. Go ahead, sir.
Last time in the room.
Go ahead. You all right. You all right, yeah. This your school.
I know a lot of brothers and sisters online think, well, if we can just get one guy in office that think like I think, none of them think like you think. None of them feel like how you feel, and none of them are applicable to do the job of a priest. That's what we gotta recognize. Like I didn't understand when I was a young man and out of the truth.
Right.
Like it's all BS, It's all of it. Like I used to root for what's that cat name? Ron Paul. I was like Ron Paul. Was that his name? Ron Paul, something like that. He was a politician.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna make college free and free healthcare. Yeah. I think, all right, no, yeah. And I think I'm in the truth.
Right.
Right. I'm thinking like, man, all these cats is wicked as hell.
Well, think
We
about
put up, like, just to add on to the description you put earlier.
right,
Not unknowingly, we put our trust into what?
right.
Egypt.
Egypt, right. We put our trust in Egypt.
America.
Listen,
This is America.
we
put
walked
our
to
trust
go
in-
down.
Come on, and
We
listen,
walked to go down
I'm
into
not-
Egypt and have not asked of his mouth, shaking hands and making covenants with our enemies.
Come on.
You understand? We keep signing away our loyalty and to our oppressor. We keep signing away ourselves. When you go out and vote and you put that person over top of you, you take on that person's every philosophy that person chooses
Right.
is chosen to you too. That's a choice that you made too. When they go out and they vote, can I say the baby thing? AB.
I don't see that.
I can't say that.
Uh,
Life
opposite,
life choice. What they call it? But you
pro-choice.
pro-choice. All right, yeah. Pro-life or something like that, or
It's pro-choice.
pro-choice. It's pro-choice. Because pro-life is staying alive. Pro-choice is pro-choice. Pro-choice. When they choose pro-choice, that means you've chosen pro-choice too. You understand? We make an alliance with the heathen, believing they will stand with us when we stand with them. You understand? And the reason why they come on and they speak the way that they do, because the words of his mouth are smoother than butter. But war was in his heart.
You want that?
Come on, sir. Listen, they speak in that way to reel us in. You know, we like fish in a bowl. You understand? All they have to do is throw in the right bait on the line, and we get it, and they got us. You understand? The words of their mouth are smoother than butter. They have never, ever had love for us. You understand? They only mean destruction for us. You understand? Listen, we are the engine that makes America go, and every other nation that we're in. The UK, whether it be the UK, the Caribbean islands, any of these places. You understand? We are that engine that makes those things happen. You understand? Think about this, right? I don't want to get too far off, right? But even in captivity, even in the slavery that we went through, we had some of the greatest people, some of the greatest influential people to come up out of slavery. If we were from that African nation, and if we were Africans, where are all the great African scientists at? Where are all the great African doctors at? Where are all the great African ball players at? Somebody tell me, we were in captivity and came out with all of this. They were not in captivity. They got colonialized, but they did not aspire to what we are. This is the reason why we know we are the children of Israel. We are the salt of the earth. We are what makes this earth run. Every nation of people live off of us. If you so-called black, Hispanic, and native, be proud of yourself. Come up out of America. Come up out of the customs and cultures of America. Get into this truth.
Right.
This is where it's at. You
Right.
understand? It says to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, trusting in the customs and cultures of America is not going to help us. Celebrating the oppressor's holidays, that will not help us. Go ahead, Kat. Go ahead. Come on, sir. Go ahead.
Psalms 55:21. The words of his mouth were smoother.
Matter of fact, Kat, let's start at 20.
20. He had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him.
Hey, listen, it says he has put forth his hand as such that be at peace with him. Listen, we always try to be at peace with our oppressor. but our oppressor will always raise his hand. Our oppressor will always bring his hammer down on us. This is what happened to the Native American Indian, and this is why we tell our people we should not celebrate these holidays. Thanksgiving is the destruction of the Native American Indians. He had put forth his hand as such that be at peace with him. The Native American Indians were at peace with this beast. And this beast raised his hand. This beast put guns to our brothers. This beast brought the hammer down on our brothers. Destroyed the buffalo, knowing that it would starve our brothers and sisters out. You understand? He has put forth. Go ahead, Cap. I don't want to. I'm jumping ahead, man. I'm jumping ahead. Let me slow down.
He had broken his covenant.
Hey, listen. And I feel repetitious about this, but CNN came out with an article on TV that said that the Native American Indians had over 177 peace treaties with America, and America broke every one of those peace treaties. Not only did they break them, but they said they're still breaking those peace treaties till this day. Now, how evil can a people be? They come right out on TV and tell you, yeah, we broke all of those peace treaties. As a matter of fact, we're still breaking those peace treaties to this day. Not to mention the treaties that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives had. You say, what treaty? What peace treaties? Didn't they say they was going to give us 40 acres and a mule?
Right.
So, somebody tell me who got their 40 acres and a mule.
Right.
They owe us 40 acres and a Bentley now.
Right.
You understand? They owe us 40 acres. Matter of fact, listen, I did the numbers, Cap. I did the numbers. $674 trillion. That's including a 30% interest over the years. So that's $10 million for every man, woman, child, and baby in America today. Somebody gonna have to pay.
According to God.
According to God. Hey, listen.
I'm just saying.
Listen. It says he that lead us into captivity.
Yeah. You want that one too?
But we got a whole lot. Go ahead, give me that. Let's drop that. Let's go to that. Let's go there. We got time. Go to that. He that leadeth into captivity. Yep. Listen. We celebrating the 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day. Hey, listen, and then not only that, I'm going to tell you the slap in the face was the Juneteenth. You asked me why was Juneteenth a slap in the face, right? What was that? 6 Asians got hurt and they came out with a whole Asian hate law, right? But they turn around after 400 years and give you Juneteenth. Not only did they give you Juneteenth, but they encapsulated Juneteenth within LGBTQ month.
As soon as they saw that funny footage, every time I see a meme or a video of that incident,
Right.
I smirk, I smirk and I laugh because, that's just a hair, a snippet of hair of what we've been through,
Listen, that's a hair that's a drop off a vessel.
Forget about it.
A drop off a vessel.
Come on,
You understand what I'm saying? Listen, Salakia, sir, live disconnected. What did I say? Did I say something?
Listen, TikTok be tripping sometimes. I'm gonna show you that. I got it.
Oh, yeah.
I got it.
But, listen.
They said we weren't moving enough, I guess.
We wasn't moving enough?
And, he wants you to, interact a little bit more.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Like, move the camera, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
He good. He ain't get no striking that.
Okay, all right, cool. You understand? Think about it, though, right? They gave us that Juneteenth, and then they encapsulated with the LGBTQ month. Thinking this makes us, they think this is going to make us like our oppressor. You understand? And for most of us, it does. You understand? For most of us, it does. It makes us more tolerable of our oppressor. You understand? And it says, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. To trust in the doctrines of our oppressor includes that Pledge of Allegiance. You understand? This is the shadow of Egypt. That Pledge of Allegiance, that Star Spangled Banner, that Constitution, that's that Article 1, Section 2, that says what? That we are, see, and that's the part that we don't read, that we are 3/5 of a person. You understand? Equal rights under the Constitution. You understand? Did we get equal rights? Have anybody ever seen what equal, do we even know what equal rights are? Equal rights under the Constitution means if everything was equal, we own our own lands, we own our own institutions, we own our own hospitals, we own our own electrical grids. You understand? We own our own armed forces. Every nation that is a nation has an army. We are the only nation that depends on being protected by our oppressor. You understand? Bad bargaining chips. You understand? What that, ain't that what Dave Chappelle said? There's a reason why we don't get hijacked. he say black people, we bad bargaining chips. He said, we have 3 black, hello? Yeah, listen, we gotta protect our own. No other people are going to protect us. You understand? The only way we're gonna protect ourselves and get some kind of understanding is back in this law, statutes, and commandments. You got that, Cap? We had the scripture, right?
Yeah,
Which one was we was talking about? We be going so fast. Listen, we got to come to a resolution. We got to come to some solution. Think about hope. Keep looking, Cap. I got to keep looking. Think about it, right? Captivity. But listen, think about it, right? And this is another thing that I always bring up, because I bring up these things because sometimes I want people to fact check and look these things up and realize that these things are real. I always talk about the doctrine of exclusion, the 1638 Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion. The 1638 Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion clearly states that no slave, descendant of a slave, now think about it, they didn't just say slaves, but the descendants of slaves and black people shall not enjoy the fruits of white society. What are the fruits of white society? Oil companies, right? Textile companies. Any kind of company. You're right, any kind of company. You can't own land. That's a fruit. Why is it a fruit? Because you can build. You can grow off of these things. You understand? And every time I say that to somebody say, well, I know somebody owns a nail salon. It's not going to build a community. It's not going to build a nation of people. Now, if you own the nail salon industry as the so-called Asians do, that's different. But one store is not going to build a nation of people. And listen, the reason why they allow that to happen, because they have to say, see, if they can do it, you can do it. This is all propaganda. America is full of propaganda. You understand? And the propaganda of America is to keep us enslaved in the mind. We are enslaved, but we understand what's happening to us. But they allow certain things, just like we always talk about black billionaires, black excellence. Who has ever seen black billionaires in this day and age? Black excellence in this day and age. I see billionaires, Elon Musk, what's his name, the Facebook dude? Who? Mark Zuckerberg, and all of these other European billionaires. I see them doing for their community, doing for their people. But when you look at our so-called black billionaires, our black excellence, I have yet to see that. I have yet to see them do anything for us. I have yet to see them do anything for the neighborhoods they come from. You understand? You got Elon Musk, somebody who has never had any kind of aerospace training, sending up stuff into space for his people. We talk about all of this that we got, this black excellence and stuff like that. They don't even come out to build up their communities, the communities that they come from, let alone the people. All of the money that Diddy so-called had or got, the Sean John and all of that other stuff, I have yet to see that happen. Can't talk about a barbecue rib spot or a chicken spot, a single chicken spot. What that Rick Ross got, he owned what, 15 wing stops now? What he did for the community he come from.
When last time you see Ross?
When last time you see him? Oh, he on the lamb too.
Right.
He on the lamb too. Everybody laying low.
Listen, let me ask you this though, Baltimore. Let me ask you this, Eastern Shore. When the last time you seen us?
Yeah, when last time you seen us?
You see us though.
Right,
You see that U-Haul pull up, you know what's up.
right.
You see that pickup truck roll up with a bunch of niggas.
Right.
I mean, with a bunch of Negroes.
Negroes.
You know what the deal is. You know why? Because we
Hey, listen.
Let me let you go, you know.
Hey, listen. At Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion, our brothers and sisters out there, if you really want to know why we going through what we going through, look at the laws that they created to keep us exactly where we are. They have created laws to keep us stagnant just like we are. And listen, I got the book. I didn't even bring it this time. I got the book, 30 Little Secrets by Claude Anderson, right? And right after the Reconstruction, and they said just before the Reconstruction, he said if they had voted to free the slaves in 1860, he said only 2% of whites would have voted for that. 2%. Not only that, he said just over 2% agreed to that after the Reconstruction. Nobody wanted to free the slaves. The only reason why Abraham Lincoln did that was to keep the Union together. Think about it, right? Think about it. Let no man deceive you by any means. We get deceived in every... Look, we think because they put Lincoln's face on a penny, yeah, he freed black people. He didn't free us. Think about emancipation. What does emancipation mean? And we going into history now. This is a class we could have did yesterday. We going into history now, right? Emancipation doesn't mean anything but to move something from private property to state property. Yeah, it was a military move, right? Yeah, you know what I mean? And we get so caught up into Abraham Lincoln. And then you know what really made it bad was then all of the conspiracy theorists start coming out with Abraham. You know Abraham Lincoln was really black, right? You know he was black. No, he wasn't. Abraham Lincoln had slaves, and Abraham Lincoln was a president. Abraham Lincoln definitely wasn't black. And people keep saying, well, Obama was black. No, Obama was African. We are so-called black. Obama was African. His mama was from, where was she from? Idaho. And his father was from Kenya. You understand? We got to understand that there are no people on the face of this earth that are like us. No other people on the face of this earth are in the condition that we are in. Think about this too, right? Only blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are in ghettos today. You say Native Americans are not in ghettos, they on reservations. What do you think a reservation is? What do you think the Hispanics are running from? They running from one ghetto to another ghetto. You understand? They running from one ghetto to another ghetto. Native Americans are in ghettos on those reservations, and we know Negroes, we know we in ghettos. You understand? We got to understand who we are as a people. We got to understand where our power lies. Our power lies in the scriptures. We come on here every week, every day, just about every day, and we explain this to our people. Think about it, right? Our people have fallen into everything, and nothing has helped our people. Even the Christian church has the Christian church was built to destroy our people. Look at it. I remember when the face of the LGBTQ was European men in California. That was the 50s, the 60s, into the 70s, and the early 80s. After that, they dropped it right on us. Now it's so-called Negro men. And where is that? In Atlanta now, right? Atlanta is the thing now, right?
Atlanta is the black capital.
Black capital of the LGBTQ.
That's what Ryan out there.
And listen, Jamal Bryan. You know he running that Eddie Long church.
I know.
Yeah. He running that Eddie Long church, man, and it's amazing, right? Yeah, it's amazing. Okay. I got you. Listen, it's amazing about. No, I'm gonna say that for what's the name, but it's amazing how we fall into the customs and cultures of America. We get destroyed, and we don't understand why we're going through what we're going through. Listen, we in a love affair with America, and we have to break that spirit. We have to break that mystification that we have fallen into. You understand? We destroyed as a people. You understand? But these laws, statutes, and commandments, this is what brings us back to where we're supposed to be. Listen, I said it earlier, we get judged as a nation. We all going through the same hell. The only way we come up out of this hell is if we come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments under commanding General Yohan. With that, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. We've been bringing this truth since 1969. And what is that truth? That truth is that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives are the true biblical Jews of the Bible. Listen, the Bible identifies us as the true biblical Jews. If you read that Deuteronomy chapter 28, you go through that, all of those characteristics are showed to be us. And with that, pass the class over to Captain Spark.
Hey, look, check it out. Excellent work. Excellent work there. Big go. Hey, clap it up again for the officer, man. Bringing out a powerful class there. You know what I'm saying? World War III is in the earth, you know? Like we thinking it's a game. We so worried about all the little BS. Right. We don't understand how minute and minor the things that we concerned about and the things that we worried about are. So a lot of it is a bunch of distraction. Right. A lot of it is a bunch of distraction, you know? You heard. But look, again, we are the Israelite School of UPK. I'm gonna read you the security announcements. Start at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Yohana. This is the original school. This is the foundation. We came from the original foundation, you understand? Out of 125th and Lenox, you understand? It's a lot of people that try to imitate what we do, how we stand, how we operate, but they fail every time. This is the original school, you did. I want everybody online to make sure that you like and subscribe to all of our channels, YouTube, on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, /X, Facebook, whatever the social media site it may be, you understand? We under Commander Jehan. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which this brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Ties, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10. Means 10th in Hebrew. It is pronounced my Aishara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering, not mandatory whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocation. Boy, oh boy. Hey, look, y'all. Check it out. The Passover coming up. Passover mandatory. But I want to let you know, Passover mandatory, I will see you there if you bout it. You understand?
Right.
If you want to, endure and be a part of the other festivities prior to that mandatory Passover, come through. It's the block party, sort of lamp. Like, you can come through that too, man. You know what I mean? As long as you play that, if you paid that Passover fee, you didn't pay for everything.
Right.
Come through. You understand? If you, a social type of cat, social type sister, want to be a part of those festivities, come through. You understand? If not, that's cool. Just come to the Passover. There, you damn sure have a good time also.
Right.
Eat the lamb, drink the wine. Be merry. You dig? Passover coming up, man. Check it out. Come through. Remind Akim and Aquaf to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and material. Of course, you already know that we having the food drives, the One West Rescue Mission. If you don't know, check us out, man. Hit the like on them videos, yo. Them brothers doing an amazing job. Them videos is visually stunning.
Right.
Visually stunning, out of this world. Officer Gana, Officer Kara, Officer Aisha Allah doing it up real big in that field. So make sure you hit that like, yo. And hit that like, hit that share, hit that repost, please. You know what I mean? If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, make sure you're wearing all black. Okay? Which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. All right? We're going to conclude the class you did. We're going to give one courteous salute to the teacher, Men of Israel, Mayim Shabbat, Amayim, Barak, Yahaba Shimei Shabbat, Yamata. Class dismissed. Was it the 60 something?